do a little vloggy vlog. I'm back in Austin, Texas, and I'm definitely feeling like, one of the lessons that I've had over the last few years with Pluto in Capricorn is the lesson of recognizing my self-worth journey. And part of the self-worth journey I've learned through stand-up comedy. I've met people all around the world. I've met people I never thought I would meet, nor would I ever think that I would have ended up in rooms with the people that I met in stand-up comedy. I think one of the lessons that I learned, though, was ultimately that the love is from within. And I know that sounds so simple, and I know there's so many like memes, and especially in the spiritual community, so many like quotes posted, but really it's true. The love is from within. And I started my Pluto journey losing my horse, and I didn't realize, I didn't know astrology at the time, but my horse died in 2009. I worked in a primate facility between 2008 and 2009, between two different primate facilities, watching the most disgusting things you could ever see done to animals in the world, done under the guise of freedom and the United States government and healthcare. So a lot of my journey has been a lot of seeing what went down with like 2020 and being like, yo, like, I know this shit ain't good. And just going through this whole journey of self-respect and learning to hold my own, even amongst people with bigger names than me or bigger followings than me, or, not even being heard at all, and I see it fluctuate. I see my numbers on social media change based on what I say over the last few years, and it's a huge journey. And I look at it this way, like, I am long in the tooth right now. Like, I've been through the journey. I've been through it, and nobody can take away your journey. That's the whole thing. Nobody can take away where you come from, and nobody can take away your motherfucking journey. And those are things that, like, I looked back at things, like, look back, people, look back at what's happened in your personal life since 2008 till now. It's a huge journey. And yes, like, we're revisiting this Capricorn Pluto energy in June, but this is a really, really big time. And for me, on a personal level, I've done had it with not being able to express myself fully because I feel like I'm whatever I once thought. I trust that my intuition speaks louder than any expectation set up by a society that's falling apart anyway. I mean, look at California. It's underwater right now. A huge piece of why I had to leave California was, I kept driving through floods that people didn't understand how to drive through. And I was wondering to myself, what is the land literally saying to us here? What is the land speaking to us? I'm no expert in anything. I'm just an observer. And the land is clearly speaking to us if we listen to the land, if we listen to what's going on. So I'm gonna be on a new journey right now. And I think hopefully, this is gonna take me a long time, but in all of my vision boards and meditations and just self-work over the last, 15, 16 years, has been that it's time to farm. And I don't know what that means. I'm very grateful that I grew up in Maryland where I've learned certain skills. I'm very grateful that I lived on an ashram where greenhouse farming was a huge part of living in, the mountains of British Columbia, Canada. And this is something that I feel really called to do, and I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm back in Austin, Texas for like the third time now because I'm following my gut. And I mean, wherever I'm going to post this, like Trust Your Glitter is my podcast, which is something that is really important to me, trusting your gut. You know, I've got acne. I've got signs of hormonal disruption throughout my life. I have endometriosis. I've had surgery for a giant cyst at the age of 22. I've had kidney stones. These aren't normal things. The land speaks to us. The way we treat our bodies speaks to us. And I'm just a regular woman from a very normal town, America. Nothing special about me. But I can see what's going the fuck on. And if I can see what's going on, I'm sure a fuck ton of people can see what's going on right now. So as Pluto enters Aquarius, I'm going to trust that, you know, I'm going to post this somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to post it. Maybe in my, you know, but I'm just feeling called to be near farms and to trust that whatever the journey of farming, I don't even see myself as a farmer, but I mean, you know, comedy and content creation can only take us so far. I mean, the world is literally changing before our eyes. And this is a tool of communication. And I mean, even with the Trump thing, the deep fake photos, like what does that show us? What does that show us about what content is going to look like as Pluto enters and moves through Aquarius? To me, that was a tell. If we literally, Trump's name is Trump, and I'm a tarot card reader, so there's Trumps. Literally, when you do card readings, there's Trumps within the card readings. Like, he is a Trump card. Like, he's a card. I like how great, like, Kristy, could you go on video with a little less crazy hair? Make it a little less crazy hair. Okay. Like, literally, you guys. Like, whoever listens to this, I'm telling you, like, social media is about to get some wings in a way we've never seen it before, because this is Pluto and Aquarius. This is transformation through technology. These phones, whatever these devices that came through, I mean, think of where our phones were in 2008. When I was in college, it was all about the BlackBerry. Think about that. Like, we went from flip phones, Blackberries, to now these devices that track our every move, you know. And I've worked with animals for much of my life, and what do you do with animals, especially cattle? You tag them, you brand them. We've been digitally branded, and it's only going to change through this time with Pluto and Aquarius. And part of what Aquarius is we're here to step up. We're here to be leaders. You know, I left a city where, I left two cities. I've lived in New York City and I've lived in Los Angeles, California. Two cities that at one point in life represented freedom, represented creativity. And to me, I didn't see any of that in either of the cities which I went to visit. And I know that I'm very much generalizing. But I'm saying when it's coming to free speech and free creativity and what creativity is supposed to be, you know, I went and visited Laurel Canyon as much as I could at this little coffee shop. Shout out to Lily, who has the coffee shop in Laurel Canyon. And the reason why is, to me, that is what created this entire generation of a debt credit society, of a mortgage rate society, things that I might never even be qualified for anymore, you know. And I have to think about this as somebody who doesn't just view myself as a woman, but who wants to have children, and I do want to have a family. You know, I didn't enter comedy because I wanted to be famous. I started stand-up comedy because it was the only place I felt free in my entire life, and I'm blushing right now because I'm nervous. It was the only place I ever felt free, and the first time I stepped on a stage at Eastville Comedy Club in New York City, now has moved to Brooklyn, I was like, whoa, you can do this? This is something you can do? And now I watch the world change, and I think about people, you know, comedians that came before me, like Bill Hicks or, you know, George Carlin or Richard Pryor. Do you think that Richard Pryor would have taken the jab? Do you think Richard Pryor would have taken the jab? Come on, people. And I know that I'll like lose a lot of people. I mean, at this point I have no social media. I mean, like, it's hurting people. And I knew this when I worked in Baltimore, and I worked at a primate facility, and I saw what they went through, and I saw what the contracts were for. You know, the Iraq and Afghanistan war was a very real thing. There are people very much recovering from that with PTSD. For what? For what? If anything is like, oh, this is for our freedom, really question that. This is for the better interest of who we are. Really question that. So as Pluto enters Aquarius, this is definitely a time of reflection. I don't know my place in comedy. I just know when I get on stage, I feel free. And if that makes me, you know, just somebody who's a casual open micer for the rest of my life, I'm very much at peace with that. Because for me, my comedy journey started as Pluto entered, or not as Pluto entered Capricorn, but during that transit of Pluto and Capricorn. And over the years, it's been a mighty powerful lesson of owning my voice. You know, me back in 2008 had no voice. And today I had a very interesting conversation with a woman from, because I also work Uber Eats. And I had a very interesting conversation with the tech support on Uber Eats trying to transfer cities, and she was telling me that she really wants to do stand-up comedy. And I thought to myself, I have never had this real of a conversation with tech support in a very long time. And I'm really grateful for this conversation, because to me it shows like everybody is trying to find their voice in every capacity. So, I mean, to the woman I spoke to and Uber Eats tech support, I just want to say you're amazing, and I hope that you know, you get on stage, because the realness of comedy is what's needed. Like the real, I don't know how to even put it into words right now, but it's just like, yeah, it's cool to see like pretty fancy people on stage, but at least, you know, the comics that I gravitate towards are like talking about real shit. And I don't know if I have any more to say about that, but this is a vlog that's gonna go somewhere. It's gonna go on the internet somewhere and be used as a hologram one day. For some sort of shit. So enjoy Pluto through Aquarius. It's gonna be an interesting transformation for everybody. I really wish I went on this live, or in this, it's not a live, but this video with more of, you know, put together, but sometimes that's how it does. That's how it be sometimes. So thanks for listening, if you're still watching. And if you're a comedian and you're watching, please just keep fighting the good fight. And I understand there's people that oppose my opinions, and I understand that too. I very much appreciate your opinions. I'm very much here to hear your opinions, but I'm also here to express what I've seen. And what I'm pulling from are deep places of spending a lot of time in animal research facilities, a lot of time in laboratories, a lot of time reading standards of operation, a lot of time helping to edit standards of operation, a lot of time, you know, being pushed over, you know, in the scientific community, which is why I left the scientific community and then just ended up in something very similar, which is stand-up comedy, which is ego's ego, and wherever humans are, ego is, and that includes myself. You know, I've been on this ego journey of learning to rise through my bullshit since 2008 as well. So, you know, if I were to ever tell people, like, what's the one thing that I want to say is, like, why are we doing animal research? What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose of why we're actually doing these studies that are funded, and by who are they funded? Who's associated with that? And if I were to say anything about the scientific community, it would be like, whenever you see certain things stamped onto a research study, there's like a whole bunch of other investors behind that. So you could have like an umbrella organization and then a whole bunch of things behind it. And so that's another question that I have as well. And it's not an easy thing to approach and talk about, but hopefully I'll keep talking about it. And I'm also going to be talking about the spirituality of the twin flame journey, because as weird as it sounds, is I think that souls on this planet are meeting each other to help transform each other as well. That's a whole other journey, and I know that's weird for some people, but I do pull tarot cards and I talk about astrology and stuff like that. But I do think we're in some sort of spiritual holy war right now. And I understand for some people that might be like, oh, Kristy has gone berserk, even more berserk than she normally is. But I'm telling you, like, I really do. And it's not like billboards for Jesus or anything like that, but it's more like there is a fight that we don't see that's going on right now. And it's coming out in a lot of different factors. The weather, politics, our internal selves, relationships, all of these things are all interconnected. And during Pluto through Aquarius, it is going to show us our interconnectivity to one another. So that's something else that I really think is going to be very important. I'm really scared to talk about what I'm saying, because, like, you know, I think music is really, really important right now, especially with Saturn through Pisces. Mantra, what are you saying to yourself? How are you speaking to yourself? How have you been indoctrinated into how you're speaking to yourself? Are these really your thoughts, or are these sort of things that were pushed upon you? And meditation, you know, meditation can be very personal. You know, for me, I like to travel. It really, really helps center and ground me. For some people, it's like going to the gym or walking meditation or even seated meditation. But meditation, I think, is something that's really important. Writing meditation, free writing meditation. You know, tarot cards are a form of meditation for me. And also, like, trusting your intuition. So I do want to teach people how to read tarot cards, but that's so personal to everybody. It's something that's very hard to teach. It's something that you can learn on your own. But if anybody wants to learn tarot, let me know, and I'll see what I can do and how to help people. I think I'm going to start doing a lot more live tarot readings, and trusting the power of your voice and trusting the power of the community. So those are my kind of I realize I'm too, see, why do I do this? I go live and I don't even check the mirror. I just like brush my teeth to go to bed. I'm in this and I'm just like, nope, you gotta go live. Just go live, barefaced and all. Okay, I'm gonna go live with toothpaste on my face, barefaced and all. So here I am, all flaws and all. Okay. See, that's my ego. That's my inner voice. All right, I think that's it. Enjoy Pluto in Aquarius. I'll keep on posting content.